Guys, it's that time again where the news has built up way too much to leave it for another second. And where are we now? Listen, you hear that? This is going to be the ongoing story of our time for who knows how long, because this protest you see right here with people camping on a street in Jerusalem, right in front of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's residence. I think his private residence, right? That's the Gaza Street. That's not. And of all things, the irony, the name of it is Gaza Street. We say Gaza. It's called Gaza Street, but it means Gaza. And he has a private residence on that street, which is not so far from the official residence of the prime minister. But this is happening right now, and this is going to be Jerusalem for the next, we don't know how long. Now, here, take a look. This afternoon. I'm sorry, I have it on blur, so you can't totally see. But what has happened is that Israel has just announced officially today that we're debating the English translation of the word, the invasion, the occupation of Gaza City has begun. You know what? I'll just look and see what this guy says in his statement, because then we'll just go with what he says. What does he say officially? What's the official word? Basically, what we've been leading up to all this time is that, Israel's been saying, like, oh, we're moving in, we're going to move into, we're going to get into Gaza City. We have to. It's the last stronghold against Hamas, and so the offensive has begun, and it's supposed to be the offensive to end all offensives that is supposed to end the war. So what you have is, ever since there was like some talk about it last night, and then something just snapped, and the hostages' families just started marching to Jerusalem and began protesting. Some of that I just played for you or just showed you on the TV, began protesting outside the residence of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And today they got together and they said, we are camping here until you bring our family members home. So I'm going to start reading you some of the quotes that they put out, and we're going to go through other quotes, from both the government, and also find out like what is happening in Gaza, because if this is, there's been an offensive for days already, where the military, Israeli military, is saying that it's targeting high rises, and they're saying that these high rises are hotbeds of Hamas intelligence, where they're spying and spying on troops, and so they have to take those down before they go in on the ground. So today the ground offensive has begun. It was led by the airstrikes, and cleared the way for the airstrikes. And then in one day, it was like, okay, all of Gaza City evacuate. And we're talking a city of 1 million residents, and that is half the population of Gaza. And so you see images today of Palestinians just, streaming out of the city south with not much, that they can carry. And so of course, this has, just like escalated all sorts of tension, politically, and for the Gazans, but also, of course, they're the ones running, but also for the families of the hostages. And they said, we are going to stay here camped out. That means a major artery in Jerusalem, a major road, is going to be shut down. It's going to be blocked off for an indefinite amount of time. And if I can just veer off of the news for a second, I can tell you, um, with a lot of frustration and anger, that the roads of Jerusalem right now are already a mess, because they have very intelligently decided, let's rip up every road at the same time right now, and try to put in this light rail system. And yeah, it's going to take 10 years, but who cares if we have every road in Jerusalem ripped up at the same time? It's only the capital. It's only the place where you want to have like millions of tourists come. And so why should we not have everybody in the country sit in traffic for hours on end? Like, for instance, for Tony drove our son Daniel to school this morning, and what would you say? It's 3 kilometers. It's like a 2 mile drive, maybe going around. It's 3 miles, 3 miles max. It's like not even a run, right? And it took 1 hour. 1 hour. And it's only about to get worse, because now we've eliminated another street. And now I'm not going to be upset with them. There's still 48 hostages that are in Gaza, and the 20, at least, 20 are believed to be alive. And we know of some, who have who are deceased. We know of either there's evidence they were killed on October 7th and their bodies were kidnapped, or they were killed while in captivity, and they know because the people that were with them knew that, saw it happen or whatever. So anyway, so these families are, just as soon as the offensive was announced, and there have been many stages to the offensive. Like, for instance, if it started a couple months ago, like the preparation, this is going to happen. The military surrounded Gaza City, or at least from one side, started coming in from one side. Then they started just last week, the airstrikes and major high rises. Again, this is a major city in Gaza. I think it is considered the capital. I mean, 1 million residents. And then, say from there, the ground invasion. And when the ground invasion begins, of course, it's going to get a lot more challenging for the Israeli military. And then, people are concerned about the soldiers. Obviously, it's, having a huge impact on Gaza, but there's no seems to be stopping. Is he talking right now? Ah, look, we're live. Netanyahu's live right now. What? So it's just you. Like, you know what we do? Put it on 12 if it's him.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll find out what he's saying after. There'll be I'll get the statement in English. He's speaking right now. Okay. So anyway, this is just caused an eruption by the ground invasion today. And you want to know something? Here's some things from the what's he called? What's he called? What is he called? Zamir. What's his title officially? My English is escaping me tonight, guys. I'm sorry. Like, I don't have a language to replace that, but Zamir. I can't even remember these guys' names because they switched them. The chief of staff of the Israeli army. All right, so he said, we are launching a powerful strike on Hamas. He gave his whole a speech about what's happening, and he said, as part of the fire support, dozens of terrorist infrastructure sites were struck, including military structures, observation positions, and booby trap structures intended to harm the troops. Then he said, as far as this operation, it's going to take months. People believe that the months means 12 months, meaning a year. So that this could drag on for another year. And we're not talking about clean strikes, like let's say Iran or Doha, what they did in, Israel did. If you missed that one, go back and watch the last video when Israel struck or aimed for, targeted the Hamas leaders in Doha. That seems to not have turned out as Israel wanted, although, the spin from the political establishment is that, well, we sent a strong message. But a lot of Israelis that I've spoken to are saying, like, that was a little embarrassing and pointless to poke the bear at the time when there was a deal on the table to negotiate for the release of the hostages. So let's talk a little bit about the hostages. There was, I think we talked about the previous release, but I'm going to show you just some of the stuff that's going on. Let me look at this one. Okay, so all right, so here's the IDF chief of staff that I was trying to remember the title. Okay, Ayal Zamir. So he released a video statement today saying that that the return of hostages is a war aim and a national and moral commitment. In the past days, by the way, this is Times of Israel. He said, in the past days, after extensive discussions with the political echelon, the IDF has significantly deepened the operation in the city of Gaza. We are operating in the depths of the territory, combining ground forces, precise fire, and quality intelligence. Our aim is to deepen the blows to Hamas until its defeat. All our operations are carried out according to an orderly plan with the release of the hostages and the defeat of Hamas before our eyes. Look at this. Okay. Head of the operations, Amir was reported to have objected to the capture of Gaza City, by the way, but now he's, going forward with it. And responding to war crimes, the IDF operates according to international law. We are doing our utmost to prevent harm to civilians, and we are acting to defeat a terrorist organization. And excuse you, Kat. Okay. All right. So let me show you why he has to address these things, war crimes, because here's an article in the National. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called the situation unfolding in Gaza morally, politically, and legally intolerable. Okay, look at this picture here. You can see the picture. These are Gazans fleeing Gaza City, heading to maybe humanitarian centers or wherever they were told to go to evacuate. You've got the coast over there. The Mediterranean Sea, but you can see that they're traveling like with wagons or on their feet or like maybe some in cars. So Guterres said, we are seeing massive destruction of neighborhoods. Now the systematic destruction of Gaza City. We are seeing massive killing of civilians in a way that I do not remember in any conflict since I became Secretary General. And we are seeing dramatic obstacles to the distribution of humanitarian aid. He called the violence horrendous as nations prepare to gather for the United Nations General Assembly in New York, where France and Saudi Arabia are leading a push for a long-term peace settlement and for recognition of a Palestinian state. So anyway, Israel is very much under the microscope right now. Here's another very interesting story that is going on. I've got to find the Globe story because Israel is becoming more and or facing threats of isolation. So Netanyahu made some speech yesterday. He was speaking at a annual conference of the Ministry of Finance's Accountant General, and he had in this speech he said something that absolutely went viral today around Israel. Talks about isolation and, this is the period that we're in and how we're going to have to deal with it. And, Qatar is working with China and they're influencing and sending out an anti-Israel agenda. and he's talking about all the economic implications for Israel, sanctions and things like that that could possibly come. I don't think it's that bad yet. And here he says this. Here, let's go to the last paragraph here. He says, we will have to develop arms industries here because right now they rely heavily on the U.S. for weapons, but then they sell weapons to Azerbaijan, so go figure, right? Oh, anyway, they're relying on the U.S. for like Iron Dome, things like that. So we will have to be Athens and super Sparta. We have no choice, at least in the coming years. We will have to deal with these isolation attempts. What worked until now will not work from now on. Now, the media went wild. I mean, if I just scroll through my social media posts, Israelis went wild. Like, what is this Sparta? So, and I really had to see because, like, are we talking about? I'm looking at it. Are we talking about Sparta? Like, was Sparta isolated? Like, and Athens. Like, well, like, why are you talking about this? And so one thing is the militarism. I mean, they were raised to be warriors in this society, and so who wrote this, by the way? I can't remember when I saw it. Oh, you got to tell me because I'm going to be quoting somebody who's saying very straight. Netanyahu's embrace of this model is nothing less than a declaration that Israelis should expect a life of bloodshed and little else. An autarkic economy, which means I think you don't do imports. I'm not really sure. Yeah, is self-sufficient, cut off from global trade is a death sentence for innovation and growth. Today, the only country that fits this description is North Korea. Okay, so all Israelis were kind of shaking their heads today and saying, what, especially the high tech sector, especially the business sector, was saying, like, what? Like, why would you announce this? This went viral. I don't know if it's around the world or in business journals, but it went wild around Israel, with people just saying, like, zip it. Don't talk about that. Like, right? Like, we're a startup nation. We're making deals. We're doing this. We're doing that. Like, don't cut us off from international trade. So that was one thing that went on right now. Wait, did he apologize? Oh my gosh, wait. As I'm saying this, there was a misunderstanding. I just saw in the headline. They just changed the headline. Maybe that was what his press conference that was just on was about. All right, let's talk about the hostage families because there's going to be a lot going on. I don't even know where to start because this is only from today, and I'm scrolling because yesterday there was some statements. I mean, there are people, hostages that were released that joined the protests yesterday and today. The one of the leading voices is Einav Matan's mother. I can never say what is Zangauker. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right, 100% right. Okay, and they're saying, like, you basically just left us. You just left them out there. The hostages out there. They're alive, and now by going all into Gaza City, you are abandoning them, and you are going to. You're getting them killed. There was also a report that Hamas has moved the hostages out from the tunnels and has them in buildings and tents, using them as well as human shields. And I'm going to show you another story that I found. Oh wait, do I not have it here? But I have it here. I didn't share the screen. Hold on. Here it is. Okay, I'll just read it to you. The IDF spokesperson. That's why I was getting them mixed up. So Effie Defrin, he said Gaza City is the largest central hub of Hamas's military and governing power, their main stronghold. Hamas has turned Gaza City into the largest human shield in history. And not only with the Gazans, but with the hostages. So you've just have the families are saying, okay, the holidays are approaching. Do not abandon us now. Make an exchange, end the war, get our loved ones back. This is another part of a statement from the hostages' family forum headquarters. Yesterday, we heard that Netanyahu, is also declaring that Israel will become Sparta, isolated globally, while we were promised that the goals of this war were normalization and a new Middle East. It is time for the people of Israel to wake up, to understand that we are being taken, to come and support, and that we are escalating the struggle. Thank you. So here also today was supposed to be Yossi Sharabi's 55th birthday. He is one of the hostages that was killed in captivity. We know that he was originally taken with a young man from Jerusalem. His girlfriend's his Yossi's daughter's boyfriend was the one from Jerusalem. They were together, and then the young boy and another young boy that were 16, 17 years old, they got released. Yossi was kept, and then was in a building that was hit by an IDF bomb, and he and another hostage were killed, and Noah Argamani survived, and she was eventually rescued, one of the few rescues that actually happened. Most of the hostages were released, if they were released, through exchanges. Today would have been his birthday. So you've got that. So just there, I was flooded today. Here's Anat Angrest, mother of hostage Matan Angrest. She says, following the prime minister's decision to conquer Gaza, even at the cost of sacrificing our loved ones, including my son and 48 other hostages who are in danger of disappearing, I am calling on you to join us. And this is just she's speaking to all Israelis. She said, we have decided to take over Aza Street here, with the families positioned as close as possible to his home, meaning Netanyahu. He already fled early this morning. Come and join us to see what's happening here. Slowly, people are gathering and coming together. This time, we are not moving from here. We want to hold out at least until the holiday evening, at least. And that is next Monday night. He's showing off by raising toasts while maintaining the routine neglect of the hostages that he has conditioned us to accept. We are saying enough is enough. We want to stop the cycle of bloodshed for our hostages and our soldiers in Gaza. Come and join us. So anyway, at 711 days now since the war started, it has not calmed down for one bit. I mean, definitely the war atmosphere, yes, for most people has, but the facts on the ground is that if you're in Gaza, there's still very much war going on, and if you are in the hostage, related to a hostage, you haven't slept for 711 days. So all right, let me see what I'm missing. So in the meantime, just as we're preparing to do this live, I see like, oh, Israel's attacking Yemen. And then like 2 minutes later, or like maybe an hour later, whatever, Yemen launched a missile at Israel. So we had sirens here in Jerusalem, very rare, maybe about once a week it happens. And all right, and that's it, guys. I don't know, that's it. But anyway, that's like just very intense here. All right, so with the holidays coming up, I also want to tell you about an opportunity if you're in Jerusalem. And if you're in Jerusalem and interested in this and listening right now, send me a message in the comments. But we are doing some excursions in the Old City. some experiences, if you will, the Jerusalem Armenian Experience. It's going to include a tour of the Armenian Museum, which is fairly new and extremely intricate in its details. But also, this is the fun part, a ceramics workshop where you get to paint your own Armenian pottery tile, and then get it, like, after it's fired and glazed and fired, you'll get it back like done. Like, oh, I wish I had Armenian pottery around for to show you an example. But anyway, really cool. And then lunch in the old city, or a meal in the old city, and maybe lunch. We're working on the times, but um, give me the dates: 25, 26, and dot 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 dot. I got to look it up. But during the holiday, let me put it that way: 23, 24, and 27. So September 23, 24, 27. So if you're watching this and you're in Jerusalem and you want to join, it's going to be a lot of fun. And it's a place many people don't get to go or get to see and experience the other side of Jerusalem. And why am I reminded of that? Because I was just saying how life is normal, but not normal, and maybe shouldn't be normal, but somehow is normal and weird. So, anyway, I'll leave you with that. I'm sure there will be more tomorrow. We didn't even talk about follow up on Doha or anything like that. But I think with protests erupting all around us, I think that's the big news for the day. So, anyway, goodbye for now. And I'll catch you next time. Thank you for joining.